Well, some of the matric pupils will have to rewrite their exams when those results are finally released. Research conducted by Youth Capital Campaign suggests that around 250,000 pupils will go at it alone. Youth Capital Network mobiliser Lethiwe Sinodumo Nkosi joins us now to talk about this. Lethiwe, a very good evening to you. Grateful for your time tonight. So one of the things that you've been looking at in your research is, to paraphrase, basically the weight of a grade 12 matric exam, or certificate, pardon me, in modern-day South Africa, given the economic situation as well as the intense job search for many people. What have you observed?
We've observed that a matric certificate remains an important signifier that a young person is indeed employable. I understand that the argument often is that you do have young people with a matric certificate who are unemployed, but we have seen through research and just through talking to young people that with a matric certificate, a young person can apply for an entry-level job, get their foot in the door, which will increase their likelihood of staying employed. So yes, a matric certificate is still important, but we see that young people need to be supported to rewrite their matric if they don't get it the first time around.
And how eager are those who don't do as well during these exams? How eager are they to actually rewrite? And how easy is the process for those who wish to do so?
As stipulated in the stat that you mentioned earlier, that you have at any given time 250,000 young people trying to get their matric certificate. So they're absolutely eager to get their matric results the first time around. However, there are challenges that they experience along the way. So for one, they don't necessarily know what are the steps they need to take in order to register to rewrite. And so as a campaign, we do our utmost best to make sure the young people are informed about the steps that they need to take. Also, there are various other challenges that they encounter as well, like for instance, not having the resources they need to prepare. So as eager as they may be, most of them may not have access to a textbook that they can use to prepare for the exam. There's also the issue around the cost of transport, for example, so to travel to a district office where they can register to rewrite. And these are just some of the few challenges that they face as they attempt to register to rewrite their matric exam and get it the second time around.
And how would we change that? If you were to propose a solution, say, to those in charge, what would you advise them to do?
So, I just want to say that it's not just only government's responsibility to make it easier for young people to register to rewrite their matric. There's also a role to be played by ordinary South Africans. But to answer your question, I think our government has a role to play, particularly the Department of Basic Education, to make sure that more young people know about the Second Chance Matric program and make it easier for the young people to register online. We know that is the route that is recommended for young people to register online. However, at times it is quite difficult to navigate the website. As a team, we ourselves kind of took us a while to grapple with the steps one has to follow on the website to register. So if the website could be made more user-friendly to ensure that a young person is clear on how they can register to rewrite. And I think also what's important is that there needs to be clear information around the Second Chance program. We've heard from young people that they may go to a district office and the information they get there does not correlate with what's published on the website. So there needs to be a communication strategy that ensures that all the stakeholders involved at a national, local level have the same information about the Second Chance program. But to go back to the point I made earlier about the roles of individual South Africans, I would say that as a concerned South African, you can support a young person by ensuring that when they do know about the Second Chance Matric program, help them register, but also as they prepare to rewrite, help them with finding textbooks and past papers that they can use to be better prepared for the exam.
You and I are speaking now about the people who were part of the 2022 matric cohort, but even the Basic Education Department's own research speaks to just the alarming number of young people who don't make it to matric for various reasons, and they drop out along the way in the 12 years of schooling. How difficult is it for those who are unable to reach grade 12 in the quote-unquote conventional way to find their way back into learning?
It is absolutely a challenge, however, a challenge that can be overcome. And we know this because we know that there are different campaigns. In fact, there's a campaign that we work closely with, the Zero Dropout campaign, that speaks about the different ways in which young people can be supported to re-enter the schooling system so that they can get to their matric. But also there are alternative routes. We know that a young person can go to a TVET college and acquire a qualification that is an equivalent to a matric. But what is needed is we need to show young people know of those different pathways. And that's not just the responsibility of the Department of Education, basic education as well as higher learning, but also just the responsibility of ordinary South Africans to make sure that information gets to young people about the different pathways they can take if they're not able to make it to matric.
Lethiwe, Sinodumo, Nkosi, thank you for your time from Youth Capital, where she's a mobiliser there with the organisation.